Irontrap garage, working on the free T again. So in the last video on this, I believe what we kind of got finished was a big project here. We got the headers basically all built and tacked together and in place. I really like how they look. Everything fits nicely, and I can basically finish weld them when we get a little further on the project. Now what I've been doing, we skipped a week or two of videos on the free T, just because I've been doing little naggy projects that were kind of hard to film, and really, I say it, you guys might not think so, but I think they weren't that interesting, so I was just banging out some small little projects here and there. And now I'm on to, again, still doing small stuff before we pull the engine. So one thing that I need to get done on this is, in an older video, we did the cowl steering out of the Ford F1 steering box, which is great, works well, looks good. I built this dash, which is just clecoed in place right now. What I want to do is build some kind of column drop or column mount just to brace the column. Now it is really solid because I built this crazy box wedge thing over here, but I still would like some peace of mind and add an additional mount here that's going to come off of the dash. So what I plan on doing in some of these videos, or some of these, some of this work I'm doing where we're not filming, I'm going to brace behind the dash and do some of that kind of work. So I'm going to tie that in and into our column drop, but I thought it'd be cool to show a real simple solution to making a column drop. So what I was hoping to use was a factory column drop, which I have here. I had it all, I blasted it up and everything, got it all freed up, and they're really cool. It's nice to use these because everything's self-contained. On-off switch for the vehicle is there. You got your key here to lock the switch, blah, blah, blah. Well, the problem is the angle that the steering box comes out at and where the dash drops down, it just doesn't fit. It's way too long, and it's just not going to quite work how I want, which I'm a little bummed about. But it is what it is. Can't get by it. So what I need to do is just make some kind of simple brace or drop. So what I'm going to do is I'm starting off with a piece of 1/4-inch plate. I made a cardboard template. I have this traced out here. This is going to be the main piece that I'm going to make a little strap that goes under it. We're going to weld that stuff onto the steering column here, and then we'll work it all into the dash itself. So I'm going to get to cutting these pieces out and forming them together, and hopefully I'll have something put together without too much hassle. So let's get going. Okay, so I got my little tooth-shaped piece here. It's going to be the main part of our steering column brace, and just gave it some shape, rounded the corners, etc., etc., just so it doesn't just look like a piece of flat plate. That's what it is. Give it some shape. So I cut out the inside about the OD of the steering column tube, like so. And I know it's a little long. I was hoping to put the bend in this piece and make it out of this section out of one piece, and then we would bolt through the top section. So what I'm going to do, what I figured was to figure out the bend. I think it was a little easier for me to put this behind, get this kind of at an angle like I like. I've already got my holes drilled in the bottom of the steering, or bottom of the dash, so that kind of tells me where it needs to live And what I can do here is I can kind of put a scribe right across like that. And that gives me a fairly accurate line to bend on. Now I do probably want to put another line with this more straight on, so I can see where the bend area is going to be. So this is going to give us 2 lines, roughly, like so. And what that is, that's going to give me 2 lines, and that's basically the bend radius. It's going to kind of match what the dash has here, and I just got to keep bending it as I go. Now the bend, there we go. Yeah, so I'm going to play with bending this over, try and get it so it sits right. Now I notice my bend line is a little crooked there, probably because I was just holding it funny, but that gives me a little bit of an idea. I'm going to take some measurements, double check, but that gives me kind of an area to shoot for here. So I'm going to bend it over and try and get this fitting up so we can maybe even get some bolts in it and get it bolted to the dashboard. And then I can make the second piece of this. So I'm going to work on getting this little piece of plate bent next. Alright, so got the steering column bracket, drop, mount, whatever you want to call it, made. I blended the welds out real quick just to make everything look smooth. I wanted something that was simple, but just kind of flowed with the rest of the interior in the car, and I think it does its purpose. It made the column really solid. Steering box had a little bit of movement to it just because it was only mounted down at the flange, so this definitely helped. And even with the dash only clecoed in place, just because of the shape of the dash and the strength of the beads that I put in it, it added a lot of stability to the steering column. So I'm really happy with that. I can keep moving forward. Now we're going to do some bracing behind the dash around the firewall just to add some more stability to the car, because there really isn't much to this thing. So we're kind of building all of this up ourselves. So as we find flex in the car when we turn the steering column, we're going to add braces in throughout and just get this thing really, really solid. So we're starting to move pretty good on tying up little loose ends on the car. I'm really excited. It's coming together pretty quickly, and there shouldn't be too much major bracing or fabrication to do yet. It's just kind of tying up loose ends, which is really great. So that's all I got for this one. Thanks guys for watching. And as always, we do videos on the free tee on Tuesdays when I have stuff going on that. Fridays I usually drop in other videos, whether it's a sport poop, Sweetheart Roadster, or swap meets, picking adventures, whatever. So if you like to follow all of my adventures from the day to day, make sure you follow me on Instagram at Irontrap. Thanks guys, catch you later.